Dragon's Quest. The valley of Ember Hollow smelled of pine resin and whetstone. Eldrin moved through it each morning the way water moves through roots, without hurry, without waste. He pressed his palm against the bark of an ancient oak and felt the slow pulse beneath, that deep vegetable heartbeat that most people had long forgotten how to hear. His staff tapped the mossy ground in an easy rhythm as he walked the ridge path above the village, checking the wards his mentor had taught him to weave between the tree trunks. Loops of living vine knotted in specific patterns, humming faintly when danger moved through the forest. This morning 3 of them had gone slack. Eldrin came down the ridge at a run. Selena was grinding something dark and aromatic at the stone table outside her cottage. She did not look up. She pressed the pestle in slow circles and let the powder fall into a clay bowl, and only when he placed the dead vine on the table beside her work did her hands go still. They climbed together to the high ridge where the wards had failed, and from there the whole valley opened below them like a wound. The crops at the eastern edge had turned to ash overnight, not burned, not scorched, simply converted, standing in gray columns that crumbled when the wind touched them. The path to Ember Ridge climbed through a forest that grew stranger as they ascended. The trees here were older, their bark the color of old iron, their branches grown into shapes that looked almost deliberate, almost like reaching arms or open hands. The light filtered down in long amber shafts, and the air had a metallic taste that coated the back of the throat. The dragon was simply there, coiled at the mouth of a cave the size of a cathedral, scales catching the light and throwing it back in fragments of green and gold that moved across the black rock like living things. Thorger's amber eyes tracked them with the patience of something that had watched centuries pass the way humans watch seasons. Selena stepped forward and raised the black staff. The silver at her cuffs blazed white, and a column of blue light erupted from the staff's tip, and struck the rock at Thorger's feet. Thorger exhaled. What came from the dragon's mouth was not fire, it was a wave of darkness, a rolling absence of light that hit Selena's column and swallowed it whole and then kept coming. Eldrin moved without deciding to. He drove his staff into a crack in the volcanic rock and channeled everything Selena had taught him, every vine ward, every root pulse, every slow vegetable heartbeat he had ever pressed his palm against and learned to hear. Green light erupted from the staff's base and spread across the black glass in branching lines. The dragon spoke then, for the first time, in a voice like stones moving underwater. The binding was never meant to hold forever. It was meant to give you time to learn what I know. Thorger lowered that great serpentine head until the amber eyes were level with Eldrin's own. The curse is not mine. It was woven into the binding itself, a last cruelty by the sorcerers who feared me. Eldrin stopped on the ridge where the dead wards hung between the trees. He reached into his pack and took out a length of living vine. He always carried some, a habit Selena had drilled into him until it was reflex, and he began to tie the first knot. Not the knot he had always used. A different knot, older, tighter, the one Thorger's memory had pressed into his hands like a gift from a source he had spent the whole journey learning to fear.